reframing. Before I spoke about the context of the meaning that you associate with something. So when something happens, what meaning do you attach to it? And sometimes the meaning you first attach to it, you've got to think, actually, could it mean something else? Could it be something else? Could failure be framed up as a learning experience or an opportunity to do it better next time? Here's a good reframe for you. Instead of asking why something didn't work out, what could you ask instead? How? What lessons can we learn from it, and how can we do it better? Because when you ask yourself why, and so a lot of therapy is based on just asking yourself a better question. If you ask yourself why, quite often you'll end up with, what was that? Because, and that leads to, begins with E. Exactly, excuses. I'm not saying it's not important to understand why, but if your car's broken down and you're stuck in the middle of the highway, unless you know how to fix it, even then, oh, why did this happen to me? Always happens. Okay, you're better off saying, well, how can I get out of this mess? Because that immediately puts you into a more productive frame of mind and it creates activity and action. Okay, so reframing. What are your beliefs? You know, some people have this inherent belief that they can. It's called positive self-efficacy. I was talking to, I used to do a lot of work with the AGSM, the School of Management in Sydney, and Professor Bob Wood was a great role model and mentor there, and I remember having this conversation with him about the concept of positive self-efficacy, about having this inherent self-belief that you have capabilities and skills. And he said that one of the reasons why it's so hard for some people to go back to their reunions, their high school, is because they're confronted with their hopes and dreams and expectations of who they were to become and the reality of who they are today. And for some, that is confronting. For others, it's a really great thing. But some people have this positive sense of, I have the ability. We work with one of the best triathlon coaches in the world. He goes to the nth degree to improve an athlete's performance because I spoke about comprehensive soldier fitness before. He's got a model of comprehensive athlete fitness that works across all levels. It's interesting that when he works with his athletes, a lot of the stuff that he's trying to understand better is, what their sense of belief is in themselves. And not just whether they're confident, but he helps them to be, what's the other C word? Not confident, but are you competent? Because he says, well, as soon as we start going down this path of are you confident this, confident that, we get mixed up in all these feelings which are real, but it's less tangible for me to help there. And so he says, you are either competent or not competent. My job is to make you as competent as possible. And for most people, confidence comes after being confident. And so that's a skill. That's something you can actually develop and learn. But going back to beliefs, whatever belief you have to ask, and resilient people will generally have beliefs that fall into this category. We've all got lots of different beliefs about lots of different things. But resilient people will have beliefs that are useful. Not necessarily true, but useful for them. I mean, I could have a belief that before I stood up here today, you didn't really want to hear what I had to say. I don't know whether that's true or not. Or false, right? I mean, how would I know that? But imagine, what if I had that belief? Like, what if I stood here thinking, oh man, this is not going to work out well? What do you think? Likelihood? Turning up at the Olympics. Oh man, this is going to be a mess. And so you've got to say, well, is that a useful belief? If it's not useful, just change it. Think, hang on a second, that's not useful. Instead, I could have had a belief that you guys are going to love this. Maybe you don't. Who cares, At the time, it doesn't matter. But it's a belief which is going to help me more so than it's going to hinder me. So you've got to go, are your beliefs hurting you? Or are they hindering you? Or are they helping you? It's up to you. Most of your beliefs will be false anyway. But they're your beliefs. You keep them as long as you like. But every now and again, you've got to do a bit of an inventory. It's like when you buy a pair of shoes, your beliefs serve you well for a period of time. It's like a pair of shoes, you become your favourite pair of shoes. Then you wear them so much, they become so comfortable. And then there's a point in time where they become actually so comfortable because, they've actually stretched a fair bit. I'm having trouble getting rid of these ones, actually. I've got a new pair in the closet, ready to go. But these have served me really well up until the point where someone looks at them and goes, what's going on with your shoes? You need to... Well, you're right. I actually do need to update them. So some people go, I'll get some new ones and I'll keep the other ones in the closet, right? Yeah. Throw them out. That's the idea. Because your beliefs impact your behaviour, which impacts your results. Now, if you want different results, you've got to change the input.